James A. Houston was born on June 12, 1921, and died on April 17, 2005. He was born in St. Catharines, Ontario, and studied at the Ontario College of Art from 1938 to 1940. He also studied at the Académie de la Grande Chaumière in Paris from 1947 to 1948, and in Japan for printmaking. He was an artist, designer, children's author, and a filmmaker. So what makes a great Canadian? In my opinion, a great Canadian is someone who advances and makes a significant and lasting contribution to Canada, someone who embraces a community, and someone who would do anything for their country. James A. Houston did all of these things. He fought in World War II and received the Canadian Volunteer Service Medal. He was also a Northern Service Officer and a Service Administrator of Western Baffin Island. By volunteering in World War II, he sacrificed his life for Canada, making him a great Canadian. After the war, he moved to the Eastern Arctic to paint and lived there for 12 years. He succeeded on everything he did, but his biggest accomplishment was his work in the Eastern Arctic of Canada, developing Inuit art. Most of his artwork was inspired by the works of the Group of Seven. James A. Houston changed the lives of thousands of Inuit people. He taught them Inuit techniques of printmaking and popularized their art in the US and Canada. He recognized the income potential of the Inuit art for the people in Canada's northern communities. In 1948, he traveled to a small Inuit community in Arctic Quebec to draw and paint images of the Inuit and Arctic landscape. He traded his drawings for a small carving made by an Inuit hunter. He returned to the Canadian Handicrafts Market in Montreal, where they were impressed by the carving. They granted him $1,100 to return Houston back to the Eastern Arctic to make purchases in various communities. When Houston returned to Montreal that fall, the Guild mounted their first exhibition of Inuit carving. According to the collector Ian Lindsay, the first exhibition was a complete sellout. The government put more money and resources into developing an art and handicrafts market in the Arctic, hiring Houston to live in Cape D'Orsay as the first roving crafts officer. The Guild's fall sales exhibition became an annual event. By the late 1950s, the government had sponsored tours of Inuit art through the Eastern and Western Europe, South America, and the Middle East. After successfully launching Inuit sculpture, Houston introduced printmaking in 1957, in which he had the same success. Furthermore, to promote the work of the Inuit artist, he formed the West Baffin Corporation. By doing this, he had a significant and lasting effect and impact on thousands of Inuit people. For these and many other reasons, I believe that James A. Houston should be considered a great Canadian.